What's up, guys? Sub-Zero here, back for another VOD review. Today, coming at you with a game from the EMEA Regional Finals, Week 1. The top two performing players over the first day were Chartman and Daysick. A really nice kind of top 8 here, actually, of a bunch of players that most people consider to be some of the strongest players, you know, in this field. Daysick, Tardaman, Yobadashi's the only one I don't know because I'm not familiar with every EMEA player. But, you know, Wet Jungler obviously has performed very, very well at Worlds before. Peepoglad is this kind of like newish player that I feel like I have not seen him in the past, but it's been doing well recently. Og, Horoax, and Salvi, other people who are kind of like big EU names. And then, you know, you scroll down and you see some other names. Solo Gasong right on the bubble here, and then, you know, some other people who didn't have as great days. But we are going to be watching Mr. Daysick here because he was one of the two people right at the top, and I think he played just kind of more interesting games than Tardaman. I looked at Tardaman's games and I was like, none of these really, you know, jump out to me as exciting games to play. And this one from Daysick I thought was really, really cool. So, look, if you guys have not, you know, if you're not all keeping up with competitive TFT and don't know how this works, we're gonna take a Waits Katarina to start off with here. Basically, this is a tournament that's going to decide who's going to be in the Tier 1 circuit next set, which is really, really, really important for, you know, so many of these players. And so it's kind of huge here. If you make it to week 2, you are in the top 32 by definition then, and then you're, you know, guaranteed, you know, making it into, you know, Tier 1 next set, which once again, like, I mean, you know, this determines if people can like continue to play TFT or not. Professionally, because it's kind of a weird game professionally. So we start off here with kind of two openers, right? We have this Katarina opener here with, you know, obviously the Katarina with weights, which I don't think is really the best Katarina option, but, you know, maybe you can make it work or something. We have this full guard breaker that we get dropped after this. And then we also have this kind of Bastion opener here. We're also going to hold on to the Koboko here. We're holding onto a lot of different reroll style lines, which, I mean, is good. You know, this patch is still decently reroll centric. A lot of reroll in Fast 9 and level 8 is kind of like play Mighty Mech, and aside from that, you're not doing too great. First augment here, Deadlier Blades, Heavy as the Crown, cloning facility here. So what I really, really like from Daysick, he hovers the Heavy as the Crown and then really just angles quite hard to this. We do see also this Bastion augment, but I think he's really just wants to scout here, pick up the Heavy as the Crown, and this is the idea from Daysick here. We are going to power up the Xayah here, offered max speed, but this is really, I don't know, I don't really like max speed that much. Desperado is kind of an interesting idea. They did buff this one a while back, so, you know, maybe it's decent these days. I guess it's okay. And we're going to make we're going to take the crown, we're going to make the guard breaker, we're going to level up here, and we're going to play 3 Bastion plus the Xayah, and this is going to be our line selection is Bastion Xayah. So Bastion Xayah, I have not done a video on it. I think maybe I did one like way at the start of the set, but not in a long, long time. I feel like this comp has really not been very viable for quite a few patches at this point, but really just with nerfs to other comps has really come back as a very strong reroll line. And if you think about it, it makes a lot of sense with this this Crown of Demacia. I actually pulled up the stats on the other monitor. Actually, give me one sec. So here, if you literally just look up Crown of Demacia and sort by delta here, you'll see Xayah is actually very, very high up here. I mean, very similar to stuff like Kog'Maw, which is seen as kind of like an S tier user of this this Crown of Demacia. Most people are taking and playing it into Kog'Maw. So you can see, you know, doing very well, and don't get baited by the Shen up here and throw it onto your frontline Shen. That's for, you know, Shen Hero Augment, not for just normal Shen. But yeah, the Crown of Demacia, very strong on Xayah. Makes sense. You have a very strong frontline with this comp. Bastion also at 6 is providing some resist to the rest of your team, making sure Xayah can live. She's also getting that shield from Rel, so she's pretty resistant to getting kind of like randomly blown up by something, and she's also just has this really, really huge frontline here. So it makes a lot of sense as a line. Also, obviously, you know, a Bastion frontline is going to buy a bunch of time for the Xayah to do stuff, and so, you know, buying time for the Crown of Demacia is really, really nice. So it makes a lot of sense here. Rotate into this guy with a solo leveling 2-star Nefiri, and we kind of just clear him, honestly. We also go for the pre-level here with the idea that we want higher cost units, right? We're sitting on actually a Xin Zhao pair here, which could be a really nice pickup off Carousel. I do see a Xin Zhao with sword here. There's also a Xayah with glove. Xayah with glove gets yoinked immediately, and I wonder if Xin Zhao is going to get yoinked as well. Last item here for potentially the Xayah is kind of interesting. We don't really have much attack speed to work with, so I think you'd want something attack speedy. Doesn't have to necessarily be a Gwynsu's Rage Blade, can be a Kraken, even like a GS I could live with, but some kind of bow item. And so I think the bow take off Carousel makes a lot of sense. The only downside to it is we are now, dedicating all of our components towards damage items. So if we end up with a minion round here, we get dropped like Bow Glove or something, well, then what are you gonna do? You're gonna have to move into the idea of like making secondary damage items, making like a Last Whisper or something, which is going to be quite awkward. So we'll see where we have to go with our items, but I do think this makes a lot of sense just from a, getting to a last Xayah item standpoint. And getting to that third Xayah item, I think, is going to be huge for our ability to win streak here, right? If you can get to like a 3-item Xayah 2, we are going to be easily clearing stage 3 and then, probably pretty strong into stage 4. And you can see here, the Xin Zhao 2, our early game looking really nice. There's a lot of people actually with decent early games. I just saw someone with a GP2. This guy, hilariously enough, Calc lost, but has a Darius 2. Must have grabbed that off Carousel, which is wild here. But I mean, good for them. Looks like they're going to lose. I don't know what power up they have. Almost looked like maybe like weights or something like that, which would also be really, really nice for them. Take that loss streak and get the weights stacking up. But yeah, it's going to be a 100 streak for Dasik here with pretty solid items. Yamato here also 100 streaking so far. So hopefully we can dodge them for as long as possible. Or, maybe if we're stronger than them, we can just fight them and win. And yeah, the guard breaker is kind of interesting. I mean, it was our only slam, and Dasik wanted to, make a slam and try to win here. And I mean, he certainly got rewarded for it. And we do have double slam here, Gwynsu and Spirit Visage, and we are going to double make here. Always feels good to make items in TFT. Somebody said, it was Dank Memes said in, I think it was Demacian Raptors' guide to like TFT. When Raptor asked all these people for like their advice on just like a random little tidbit of advice. My advice is in there, by the way. I did a video on it, and you can also go find the Reddit post a while back. But Dank Meme said something that I thought was really smart, which is just, this game is about building a strong board. This game is not about finding BIS or finding like perfect units. The game is just about building a strong board and winning fights, which I think is very insightful. I guess it's best friends of these. I mean, you don't have that many 3 costs on this board, so I don't think teaming up is that exciting. Rig Shop, obviously, for the same idea, not that exciting. We also don't have any open components, so even if we get a random component from teaming up, we can't slam anything. Wow! What? I guess he's not thinking of rig. There's no rig shop angle. I mean, it's a 2-cost rule. I guess he's thinking of teaming up as just being some econ. I mean, I guess his thought is that the Armor Namar is just like, I was thinking the attack speed would be okay. But yeah, I guess he's just saying the Armor Namar from Bastion is like, this doesn't do anything because of that. I guess he thinks teaming up's better. I could see it, yeah. I mean, their armor's basically worthless. So you're basically just getting a little bit of AS on Xayah. Yeah, maybe this one sucks. Okay, I'll allow it. I mean, I think teaming up is pretty bad as well. But I mean, probably gonna be forced to take it here unless we want to reroll. And wow, okay, we risked getting lit fuse there for our Xayah, which doesn't sound amazing. But we end up getting preparation, which is a pretty good option here. The only downside to prep here is you don't have much to prep. We're just prepping a Xayah here. We roll down, find the Xin Zhao 2. Opt to not roll any deeper with the idea that Xin Zhao 2, Shen 2 should be enough to get us through this stage and be really strong. We'll see if we can get through. Oh my god, I mean, the Xayah with the crown, even just Xayah 1 is doing great work here. 6.5k damage. You can see why he was so excited about the crown, and boom, that's actually huge for us. That's a Xayah 2 and then another Xayah to hold on to look for. And we're also going to fit the Schmolder on the board for now to get that anti-heal, which is, obviously very, very nice on this board here. We'll see if we want to play something like this. So obviously, your idea is 6 Bastion plus a Xayah on level 7. And then like level 8, usually in this comp, I feel like, yeah, you're fitting stuff like Jinx and things like that. It's funny, it used to be old school. I'm sure people who've, been playing this entire set remember the Xayah plus Rakan reroll. Not so much anymore after the nerfs to Rakan and that comp. So now you're just playing 6 Bastion Xayah, and instead of playing around all that stuff, you have the extra style on level 8, which I mean oftentimes is just gonna be Star Guardian. Jinx is really, really nice for the Xayah. I mean, I just want a tank component here, right? Cloak would be pretty solid, or belts. Yeah, belt seems fine. I mean, to be fair, yeah, he's scouting the lobby actually to look at like kind of like, okay, what do we have here in this lobby damage wise? We're just gonna take the belt because I mean, never feels bad to have HP onto Bastion units, right? You're gonna play 6 Bastion. I mean, you're never gonna go wrong building like a Warmogs or something like that. We already have the Spirit Visage. I was thinking maybe of like a Declaw or something, but depends on what the lobby actually looks like. And the downside to taking something like a Cloak is that like most Cloak items outside of Declaw are going to be, even Declaw is very much a resists type item. Obviously a bunch of MR there. you know, if you have to end up building something like a Gargoyle in 6 Bastion, you're going to obviously feel really bad. So yeah, we're not going to hold on to the extra Schmolder here, so we're really just looking towards the future of this board here. Going to power up our front line here. I mean, I guess it's just resistant, right? I don't like the idea of Unstoppable Shen. We'll see if he does like it. Unstoppable has also been nerfed pretty considerably, so yeah, it is just going to be the resistant here. I think this is good. I mean, anything that kind of like multiplies with your Armamar is good here. We also pick up the Swain too. I'm going to swap that in real quick here. But yeah, you want stuff that like kind of, you know, Armamar is going to make you take less damage, and then Resistant is going to give you that flat DR on top of that. Or it's not even really damage reduction. It's like, it is, but it's not, you know, damage reduction needs something different. It reduces damage, but it's not damage reduction. Look, we need names for all these kind of things in TFT. So people have talked about this before, like how in like Magic the Gathering or like Yu-Gi-Oh, they like made it so everything kind of has like a name, you know, like this thing that you have has a name. And I think we really need that in TFT as well. Yeah, make sure that you don't slam the Crown of Demacia on a unit that's going to get killed by the wolves, or else you will lose the fight. We are just trying to obviously prep everything here. If you're freaking out and you're like, why do you just bench this whole board? It's for preparation, of course. Pop the Crown of Demacia off there by just benching it. Gonna get the rest of the board in here, which is mostly prepped at this point. Still got a ways to go here. Gonna move actually everything over from the Shen so that we can get the more prepped Shen in here. And yeah, just gonna take the round 2. Kind of yuck in my opinion. You know, round 2, I mean, it is a 3-item dummy, but the dummy's not gonna, you know, carry over any of that Armamar from the Bastion, so doesn't seem like a good power up to me. I think we could dig for something better here, but we'll see here. All right, last augment here, obviously not gonna be pair of 4s, probably shouldn't be Noble Sack. I don't really want Mace's Will either. I guess worst case I would take Noble Sack. I think I would roll this and then this. Blazing Soul doesn't seem great either. Yeah, I guess it has to be Noble Sack among those. I mean, Noble Sack does scale with your Armamar. Also, did he just... Yeah, he just sold off that extra Xin Zhao. Okay, not interested in the Xin Zhao 3. I mean, we're pretty far off of Xin Zhao 3, and we're a lot closer to everything else, right? So why not just sell that off and get to play the Xin Zhao with 3 stacks, and just, you know, say that we're probably not going to be hitting Xin Zhao 3 this game, especially because itemization wise, like we only really have enough items for a tank and then like maybe some kind of secondary carry here. So like even if we do hit Xin Zhao 3, like what? We're just gonna have to put the items on Shen 3, and then we're just gonna have a random 3-star Xin Zhao on our board, which is like, is that useful? I mean, it's probably not horrible, but I don't think it's great. I mean, every round I think we're gonna roll, dip, look for, you know, something like this, and then roll deeper here when we start hitting everything. We do hit the Leona here, and yeah, just gonna up to level up at this point. That's a tough decision to make, but I do think it is a very good one here, because, I mean, we're still 2 off Xayah, but the spike of actually hitting the 6 Bastion is huge here. So I do think this makes a lot of sense that we could just slow roll a little bit on 7 digging for this. That's just like... I mean, you could, I would have greeted this, and I think I would be wrong to do this. I definitely would have greeted a couple more rounds on 6, like rolled here or here, and then found my Xayah and then push levels, but he just goes for the spike here, and level 7 is not that much lower odds of finding this, so I think this is really smart. Stand United for the Shen here, because yeah, Living Well, Armamar, bleh, I mean, it's not that great. Adaptive Skim, Armamar, not that great. Stand United, Shen's ability, also shields, and shields the lowest health ally for 50% of his shield, and gains 25, stacking MR on cast. I mean, it's just pretty solid. I actually have not taken this one yet myself, because I really haven't played that much around Shen. This is a almost niche reroll comp, this Xayah stuff, but I mean, you can see why Dasik decided to, you know, play at this game, and he's doing fantastic, right? 74 HP here, rotating into a pretty decently strong board here from Tartanman. Honestly, Tartanman's board kind of sucks, so we should be winning this. Tartanman, 50 gold here with the Econ Augment, is really just looking at pushing level at this point. He did highlight the bow there with the idea of, I guess, GS for our Jinx down the line. I mean, it is also just a 5 cost, which is pretty cool. We did make the Sunfire, so obviously we're done with that. We don't need Heal Cut anymore. We don't have any Armor Shred on this board, which I would think would be the next thing that we would be excited to get here, but we'll see. As far as... you know, prepping everybody, we've done a very good job. Everybody is prepped except for the Swain and the Xin Zhao here. And both of those, I think, Xin Zhao is definitely 3 stacks, his Swain 2 or 3. Either way, we're very close to having everything prepped here. Rotate into this board here from, I think this is Yamato here, who has a 7 Mighty Mech board. Upside is he doesn't have 2-star Karma here, but this fight looks really scary. Oh my god, yeah, the Xayah can clear at the end there. Really nice end to the fight here. And yeah, the Swain's only 2 stacks, actually, so probably never going to have, well, until, you know, stage 6, we're not going to have a fully stacked Swain here. Also going to slow roll a bit here, almost fast roll, honestly, to dig for our Xayahs here. The idea being if we find another Xayah, we'd probably be open to dipping towards 30 gold here to protect our streak here. I mean, I think this is pretty smart rolling from Dasik. Even though we're 1 round off of minions here, win or lose this fight could be pretty consequential for our HP. Drops down to 61. Yeah, feels a little bit bad here. He does also pick up these extra Swains here, so maybe this can be his path towards getting his Swain fully prepped. I do think we should totally make sure that we are prepping the Xin Zhao. Dasik, bro, over your preparation! And definitely the Xayah, actually. I didn't realize the Xayah is actually 3 stacks as well here, so make sure you get her prepped up here. Okay, we get everything last second prepped here. That's going to be fully prepped, everything but the Swain here. Looking at the rest of our items here, like I said, the main thing that we're missing here is armor shred here. So, well, we're actually going to roll first and then think about it. We do need to find that Xayah, and boom, we do hit it there. Wow, really nice. And we even gonna, wow, just level for the Twisted Fate here. Gonna move items actually and up to make the Kraken here. Yeah, I mean, I think this makes a lot of sense. Kraken, a great item to Xayah. Only downside is this does kill our ability to find armor shred, so we're just gonna be forced to take like, what? It's a Edge of Night on our TF, a Gunblade on our TF, Shoj, a D. Oh, he's just gonna make DV and then just leave the tier on front line. Yeah, I guess DV's decent enough. I mean, TF is like, he uses the AD fine. Okay, so yeah, kind of whatever items onto the TF, and this is gonna be our random +1. I mean, the crew is pretty worthless here on this board, I would say. You know, not really doing all that much here. I guess we do have the Shen 3, so it is granting us XP on roll, which is kind of hilarious. I wasn't really thinking about that. You don't usually think about that idea. But yeah, did he actually? Okay, wait, give me 1 sec, actually. Yeah, I want to go back here and check if he actually rolled with the TF in, and he does, right here, because he doesn't, or does he? No, he cuts the TF to roll here. Oh, that's actually a miss, right? He should actually have rolled with the TF in because he would have got the, he has a 3-star crew unit, so he would have got the extra rolls, the extra XP from rolling there. Oh, that's kind of funny. It's such a, I feel like a spot that you don't see yourself in that often. But if you ever have a crew unit, you can always just fit, you know, tech in the TF for a round, like while you roll, and then get the extra XP while you roll down. So we could have actually saved ourselves a little bit of gold there, and we missed out on that. We now have it in, but obviously we're not rolling at this point. And I mean, that's all the crew's really good for. It's a little bit of stats onto the Shen. I mean, like I said, I do think the dream here is to just get to Jinx for better Star Guardian onto this board, especially because, you know, your Xayah is Star Guardian, and getting that Jinx bonus onto her would be really huge. So I fully expect us to swap off this TF the second we find a Jinx 1, though we will see, you know, what we end up stacking onto the TF. And obviously, if we find a TF 2, I guess he's just going to be a permanent fixture onto our board here. We could also even just, you know, stay on him forever. We could also burn a remover here to get the fully prepped version in, but he is not that excited to do that. The other kind of interesting thing, but I think makes a lot of sense, is we've stayed on Desperado this entire game. I mean, Xayah's an attack speed carry. She's using the AD well from the crown. Oh my god! Wait a minute, dude. We got pulled in by the that was Rocket Grab Darius that pulled us in. That actually was so annoying there. What the heck? Armor Shred would be great to pick up on Carousel here. Still does not exist here, so I guess we're gonna have to take like just the TF2 with the D-Claw here, and I mean this TF is gonna become a permanent fixture onto our board here. Okay, and then the D-Claw can just sit onto Leona for the rest of the game. I mean, you could move the Sunfire over. Yeah, I guess that's what we're considering. Yeah, this makes sense, right? Move the Sunfire over to Leona. Actually just move the Adaptive down to TF. Okay, yeah, I could see this. Keeps our tank item on the Shen to make sure, because I mean this Leona is gonna be pretty fragile with just the Sunfire onto her, so keep the item on Shen. I mean, you see the Sunfire lasted so long, and the Adaptive pretty good on the TF, and wow, that was a close fight against Jetasaur. Honestly, I think maybe if we had gone with my idea of moving the Sunfire over, we would have lost this fight. So good call from Dasik here. I don't usually think of Adaptive. And hey, 60 HP onto all of our crew members. That includes the Shen. It's like not even that bad. It's kind of bad. Also, did we just scout and see 3 Mighty Mech players? This is the Mecha Cup, man. There are 3 Mech players in the top 6 here. That is wild. Literally, like every matchup we have is one of these Mech guys, which is kind of scary. I mean, the hope with this board, I think, is that we can snipe the Karma through the board with the Xayah feathers. It doesn't really end up occurring here, so that's a little bit rough. We do pick up a Jinx here, which is going to be, like I said, our level 9 is going to be really big. I mean, like I said, normally you would play it over the TF, but I mean, you have a TF2, you're going to play it, right? We're not just going to get rid of this TF2. So I guess he's going to stay on the board. We can look for, you know, obviously another item here. Could be adaptive to just go on a frontliner, or could be like we'd move the adaptive up, or we could just go for a TF item. We find Evan's Shroud here, which it must be the take, right? I'm kind of surprised he even thinks about this. Must be even Shroud here. Throw it onto Leona. Throw her into the middle as well, just to make sure that she is one of the last units to die here. Try to just get her as far away from the edge as possible here. I'm going to rotate into this guy. We do get Xayah same side here, which is pretty nice. So hopefully we can snipe this Karma a little bit, though honestly, it's not looking like we're sniping too hard. There's too much front line here, and yeah, we just have to clear through everything here. We are doing a pretty good job. The Shen taking forever here, and we do pick up the win there against a very, very strong Mighty Mech board, and that was before the Jinx level. This Jinx level is going to be a big upgrade onto this board. The TF still rolling extra bounty cards. I mean, the spot's looking great, and top 4 locked in. Top 3 probably locked in at this point just from HP, you know, alone here. I will say 2-cost reroll tends to not be able to play 4 first, but we'll see this game. We have a very nice HP lead. We have a very nice setup here. Rotating to this guy who is 3-cost reroll, so, you know, all things considered should be stronger, but I mean, they have a lot of econ augments here, and we have a lot of combat augments here, so we are going to pick that one up there. Really, really nice. We also made it to level 9 here. Get a Chain Vest. Wow, that allows us to actually Slam Protector's Vow. I mean, that's huge off the TF. I mean, this is the value of having this Twisted Fate guy onto your board here. We're doing great work here. Gonna roll a little bit, find a random Volibear. You can theoretically fit 4 edge on this board. You know, cut the TF, cut the Jinx, and play like a Volibear plus a Samira, and the other nice thing is then you're getting Soul Fighter in. If you find Braum, you're getting Luchador in. That's another really nice way to cap the board. I don't imagine we're going to do it this game just because of our spot, right? We have this Twisted Fate 2 that we kind of have to play. This guy looking like a very strong mech board. I don't know if Xayah... Oh my god, she can clear, and we kill off People lad there. Oh my god, that was close. But the Xayah, I mean, I have to say, this Xayah has performed so well with this Crown of Demacia. I mean, I will be certainly looking for this in my games here. All right, we're going to roll down here, try to find a Braum here. Do you find a bear too? I don't think it's... Okay, he does think it's better. So we are going to play this just so that we make sure that we get the Luchador in for Braum here. And obviously we lose out on the Star Guardian bonus, but he says, you know, a 2-star bear is a 2-star bear, which I could see it. And getting Luchador in for these guys seems decent here. All right, the final mech player that we need to try to get through here. He does have a Lee Sin too, so I wonder if this is the end of the line for our board. I mean, making it to top 2 is fantastic here, and it is Tartaman, the other player who performed so well on the day here. I mean, yeah, the only swap that you can make is cut the bear again here, because 3 edgelords, like, kind of whatever, but I think he just does think the bear is stronger here. Doesn't think that highly of the Jinx buff, and obviously we're not going to cut the Twisted Fate. All right, we'll see what we can do here. We're going to move Xayah up here, actually, to maybe try to snipe backline. But we don't end up being the same side as backline. Maybe a way to dodge Yone as well, but not really, because Yone's still going to hit backline. The fight's looking pretty tough here. This Mighty Mech board's kind of broken. We take another loss here. We are going to make it to stage 7. And we wait 1 second. We do, actually. We cash a Braum out here. Maybe Braum 2 plus something? I mean, there's nothing else to hit, actually. It's just Braum 2 that we can find here and finish prepping everybody, I guess. So a few more prep stacks on the rest of our board here. And I mean, an extra item, right? There's Xayah, who, you know, would normally be quite a good unit on this board, but I just don't see where we fit her. I mean, let's roll down here. Pray for our Braum 2. We don't hit nothing here. That's pretty bad. Can just take a Braum item here. Oh, he's actually going to double swap, triple swap. Oh my god! Frontline to Xayah. I mean, if he wins, he's the GOAT. He slams all of the items here. Xayah way high up here, trying not to get Yone ulted and trying to maybe snipe backline here. Wait, we kill a bunch of frontline. Oh, and then we get blown up by the Medivac. I mean, a cool try here at the end from Dasik. And I mean, a really nicely played game. I mean, going, like I said, top 2 with this comp is really I mean, shows the power of it. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Check out my Twitch and Metafy. All my links down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks always for watching.